You kids like superheroes, right? Like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man. They're pretty cool, right? Well, how about a superhero that's just a freaking floating hand? That's right, I'm talking about the famous hand superhero. From two stories in 1941. And no, I am not on drugs, nor am I making this up. This is real. There was indeed a superhero back in 1941 that was simply just a disembodied floating hand. So let's have a look at these two hand stories and see what this hand character is all about. So the first one starts with a pair of crooks entering a casino. They are Count Saggy and his buddy Royce. Yes, his name is Saggy, and if he's a real count or just a huckster, I don't know. But they are there to rip off the casino. They're so-called card sharps. As they're discussing their plans, a large disembodied hand appears out of nowhere, tapping Count Saggy on the shoulder. The hand hands him a card that tells them to leave in a threatening manner. Royce is naturally spooked and wants to leave, but the Count just dismisses it as nothing. I guess he's seen weirder things in his life. So the pair proceeds with their plans and rips off a colonel and an oil tycoon in a card game. Are these really supposed to be our villains of the story? A pair of con men who rips off wealthy gamblers? This is the worst that the writer could think of. This is the epitome of evil in his opinion. Meanwhile, we had Batman battling crazed gangsters and Superman fighting the Nazis. And this hand thing is just pestering tricksters ripping off the rich. Anyway, the hand then goes to warn the manager of the casino and strikes a deal with him. By the way, these casino managers were usually crooked and had ties to the mob. The hand and the manager are gonna play a game of cards with Saggy and Royce and rip them off, with the hand posing as the manager's right hand. Yes, and so they do. After their defeat, the con men decide to cut their losses and leave, but that's when they're confronted by the hand. Desperate, Count Saggy pulls a gun on the hand. And that's when the hand beats the shit out of the pair. The hand then forces them to go to the manager's office and confess their wicked scheme. However, instead of turning them over to the law, the hand proclaims that he's gonna fix them. A red mist then fills the room, and the pair of tricksters are branded with a hand mark on their foreheads. Yeah, I don't know. And then they're just let go, I guess. And that was our very first hand story. A weird, disembodied, omniscient, floating hand terrorized a pair of card cheaters. For some reason. Well, the hand appeared again a month later in a story that's only 4 pages long. This story opens with a pair of FBI agents observing a speech at a political forum. They had been warned that something might go down during the event, and then out of nowhere the hand appears and points at the MC. This is a sign to the FBI agents that he's their target. And true enough, the MC makes a break for it while ordering a pair of goons to cover his escape. With the help of the mighty fist of the Hand, though, the feds are able to subdue the goons. The Hand then gives the agents a clue to where the MC has escaped, because I guess he didn't feel like just outright telling them. By the way, in this story, the FBI agents act like they sorta know the Hand, so I guess he's famous to the law now. Anyway, the Hand and the agents track the MC to some embassy, where he's exposed to be part of a spy ring. Spies spying on behalf of who is not revealed, but I'm gonna guess the Nazis, because it's 1941. The Hand naturally beats the crap out of the spies, and hands them over to the feds. The end. That's it. It was just 4 pages. The very last panel promises more thrilling Hand adventures, but that was a damn lie, because this was the last Hand story ever produced. And what a shame that was. Just think of all the exciting Hand stories we missed out on. It's unsure why the Hand was cancelled. Maybe because it was really just a rip-off of the Eye. That's right, there was an Eye superhero as well, who was a bit more successful, at least lasting a few years. So the Hand is a cheap knockoff of a super obscure and forgotten weird Golden Age character. We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Well, I hope you enjoyed.